Hi everyone, welcome to ZeroDrag. Today we are diving into the world of ExpressLRS with the ZeroDrag Nexus1 receiver. Let's get started. First we'll unbox the receiver and see what's inside it. We get a sticker panel, a receiver in an anti-static bag, a T antenna, 3 heat shrink tubes and a set of wire. So let's get this out of hand and get started. Let's solder the receiver. We'll start from the ground, which is at the end, which is like ground, 5 volt, TX and RX. So all of our wires are soldered properly, and we follow a color code where 5 volts and ground are red and black and TX and RX are blue and green. I'll ensure that all the connections are soldered properly. Now I'll add heat shrink to the receiver to secure it and doesn't get dirty and stays protected at the same time while it's flying. You can do this with a hot air gun or a lighter, both work flawlessly. Now let's solder the receiver to the flight controller. Remember to put your receiver's 5 volts on 4V5 of the flight controller to power it on via USB. So the connection goes like this. 5 volts and ground on the receiver goes to 4V5 and the ground of the flight controller. And RX on receiver will go to TX on the flight controller, and similarly TX on the receiver goes to RX of the flight controller. Now let's go to ExpressLRS configurator and see for the next steps. Now by connecting USB you should see the receiver turned on. And if not connected to 4V5 you'll need to power on your flight controller via external power, which is via ESC or VBAT of the flight controller. Now let's open ExpressLRS configurator and flash the latest firmware, which is 3.3.2 currently at the time of making this video. Now in the devices category search for ZeroDrag 2.4 GHz and in the device choose ZeroDrag Nexus1 2.4 GHz RX. Now the first method we'll use is beta flight pass-through. But before doing that we need to ensure our receiver is properly set up in beta flight. For that we'll open beta flight and connect our flight controller. And go to the ports tab. There we have to turn on the serial RX on which we connected our receiver. Consider if I connected my receiver on UART4, I'll turn UART4 on, or if I have connected UART1, I'll turn UART1 on. And after this save and reboot. After that go to the receivers tab and make sure you are on serial via UART and serial receiver protocol as CRSF. And save the settings. Now close the beta flight configuration and come back to ExpressLRS configurator. In the regulatory domain select regulatory domain ISM 2400. Select the binding phrase and enter binding phrase. This can be anything and acts as a password between your TX and RX. Coming down we'll see the manual serial device select and we'll select our flight controller. It should appear as COM-STM microelectronics. And select flash. It will take some time and complete the flashing. Coming to the second method via Wi-Fi. Again select the firmware you want to flash and in the device category search for ZeroDrag 2.4 GHz. And in devices select ZeroDrag Nexus1 2.4 GHz RX. In flashing mode select Wi-Fi and select regulatory domain ISM 2400. And enter your binding phrase. And select flash. You will see a pop-up folder as firmware.bin. Now turn on your receivers and after 60 seconds your receiver will go into Wi-Fi mode and you should be able to connect it. It will appear as ExpressLRS RX. And its password is ExpressLRS all small case letters. After that a web page will pop up and if it doesn't you can open any browser and type 10.0.0.1 and you see the ExpressLRS page. Go into the update section and drag and drop the firmware file on the choose file option and click update. You'll see it uploading and then flashing. And an update succeeded message will pop up. Now that we have flashed our receiver with the binding phrase, we'll verify it by connecting it to the radio. And we can see there's the connection. We can go into model settings and in sensors, we can see telemetry data. Now I'll remove the power to the flight controller and you can see we lost telemetry. Connecting it again regains the telemetry. That's how you verify your connection. Thank you for watching this video and stay tuned for more such tutorials from ZeroDrag.